everyone. We are going to be reading a story from our big blue book that went home with you, your textbook. And the story that we're going to be reading this week is called The Big Red Lollipop on page 34. So this should be a story that before watching this video, you have already read this either by yourself or maybe you read it with a grown-up, but it's going to be really helpful if you can read it before you finish watching this video and do the activity.
Yes.
Okay? All right. So, Mrs. Grant, today we are going to be talking about character, setting, and events again, just like we did earlier this week. And if you remember, our characters are the people or the animals that are in the story. The setting is going to be where, when the story took place, and the events are going to be all those important things that happened throughout the story. So what do you remember from The Big Red Lollipop?
I remember the main character, who they don't actually say her name until like the middle of the book, was Rubina.
Rubina, you're right. I know, I wasn't sure what her name was either until it ended up letting us know. She was the narrator in most of
the oldest sister of the three sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna write down Rubina. She is our main character and also the narrator.
Another important character in this story was her mom, which they called Ami, A-M-I. That was her mom.
There's some new and interesting names in here that we learned, just like in our last story. Maybe in parentheses, I'm just going to write mom so we don't get confused, and students can do that too.
Yeah.
So we have Rubina, the main character, we have her mom or Ami, and didn't Rubina have some sisters in the story?
She did.
As well.
So the sister that was in the middle, the one that had to go to Rubina's party with her and threw a fit until she got to go and then ended up kind of ruining it.
Oh yeah.
Was Sana. Yeah.
All right, so we have Sana, and then
there was
baby
even
sister,
one more, and her name was Miriam.
All right.
Or Miriam, however we want to pronounce it.
We're not sure.
Yeah.
But we're doing our best.
There was a side character, Sally, that was the party that they went to, but she's not really a main character, so we probably don't have to list her. I mean, we could, but...
If you want to write her down, you're absolutely welcome to. She is a character, but it seems like most of the focus in the story is on these four
definitely
characters. Okay, so we have the characters under control. We know a little bit about them. Let's talk about the setting of the story, and that's going to be where or when the story takes place.
Yes, so most of the story takes place at Rubina's house.
Okay.
And then for part of the story, we get to see what's happening when they go to Sally's birthday party. So we could say Sally's birthday party, I guess, right? And we don't really get to see what happens when Sana goes to her party later. So I think it's mostly at these two places.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, so we have the setting, and we talked about how sometimes that setting does change throughout the story. You don't always just have one place. Some stories have many, many, many different settings, and some just have a couple.
I also wanted to point out before we head into the events that just like yesterday, we have 2 boxes, but that doesn't mean you have to use it. It's just there in case you run out of space in the first box and you need extra space to write.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, events. So these are like the main big important things that happen in our story.
Yeah, this is like the story actually like retelling what is going on, but in a much shorter version that maybe you would share with someone that you know. Now the only thing is, Mrs. Grant, I don't want to do too much for the students because they really need to do some of this on their own. So maybe we could get them started with one event from the beginning and just give them some ideas of what they could write at the end.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm thinking about the story, and I remember that at the beginning of the story, it was Rubina who got invited to a birthday party, but she's forced by her mom to take her little sister Sana with her.
Even though she really, really, really doesn't want to. But mom's like, you can't go if you don't take Sana. That's all there is to it. So you either take her or you don't go to the party.
Yeah. It seemed like she was pretty frustrated though because Sana wasn't invited.
Nope.
And it seemed like Rubina understood that and understood that not everywhere you can go without an invitation, and she felt a little weird having to bring her sister with her.
Yeah.
So maybe our first event could just be that Sana had to go with Rubina to her birthday party.
Yeah.
All right. Or to Sally's birthday party.
Okay. Or maybe I'll say Rubina had to take Sally with her.
Had to take Sana, yeah.
Sana, not Sally.
Tongue twisters.
Yeah. Rubina had to take Sana with her to the party. Okay.
That's a pretty great start. So we have one event. I would encourage students to try and write 1 or 2 more events, and they definitely might need to use this box below in order to write more. Maybe we could give them some ideas.
Okay, so that was like the main problem that Rubina faced at the beginning. What happened in the middle of the story, like when she took Sana to the party?
Oh my goodness. It was kind of embarrassing even to read. But I remember that Rubina is at the birthday party with her little sister, and her sister is not really cooperating and is kind of drawing attention to herself, and the other girls at the party were looking at her kind of weird, and she was really worried that she wasn't going to get invited to any more birthday parties because she had to bring her little sister with her. So
yeah, and that's exactly what ended up happening. None of the girls would invite her to their birthday party after that. Month after month was going by, and she wasn't getting invitations anymore, like you said, because the girls knew that she'd have to bring Sana. Yeah. And then later on in the story, Sana, the middle sister, she got invited to a party of her own.
And what does Ami say?
Karma, right? Ami, the mom, is like, well, if you want to go, you have to take your baby sister, Mariam. And Sana is like really upset about it and doesn't think it's fair, even though she got to go to Rubina's party with her. But something pretty cool happens.
Yeah.
With Rubina. Rubina sees all of that happening and sort of starts to feel sorry for her sister Sana because she's been through that. She's experienced having to take a little sister and knows that the girls might not invite her sister Sana to a party again if she has to take Mariam, and Mariam ends up ruining it for her Sana and her friends.
Yeah. She kind of knew what it was going to feel like and prevented her sister from having to go through that same issue that she dealt with.
Yeah.
So she encourages her mom to say, you know what, Ami, or you know what, Mom, don't make her bring our little sister to the party. Just let her go alone.
Yeah. And Sana actually feels grateful to her big sister Rubina for encouraging her mom to let Sana go alone, and realizes she probably had some think time and was like, wow, I guess I kind of ruined it for my big sister, but even though I ruined my big sister's party, big sister came through for me and allowed me to go by myself because she didn't want me to get embarrassed. So she ended up bringing the lollipop from her party.
A green lollipop.
A green lollipop at the end.
After eating her sister's red lollipop.
Yeah,
big red
really
lollipop from the name of the story. And that was kind of that symbol of almost like a, I'm sorry, but thank you.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So she let Rubina have her lollipop, and then like that was the way the story ended, and it ended on a good note because, you know, the sisters ended up getting along, and I think Mom realized that, you know, just because one daughter is going, they don't all have to go. They can have their own lives.
I think they all learned a pretty important lesson.
Yeah.
Mom included.
Yes.
So that's a lot of events.
You don't have to write all of that.
No, pick 1 or 2 that you could do. Write a complete sentence for us in the boxes of an event that you remember, or maybe one of your favorite events of the story. And I think that's all for this page today.
Good job, guys.